How's it going, everybody? It is Ben Aqua, like the color. I just traded in my RAV4 Hybrid for this amazing car. It's a Tesla Model Y 2021 long range. So I thought I would just share some of my initial excitement and some of my thoughts about the Model Y so far as my first electric car, and give you some of my first impressions, and also tell you about some things that I think could be improved. So let's get in the car. I'll show you around a little bit. Be sure to smash the like button and subscribe below, and let's check out the Model Y. Yeah, check this out, y'all. This is the Model Y interior. Again, this is the 2021 long range edition. And yeah, I think this is absolutely beautiful. It does take a little while to get used to with the one screen thing coming from a gas-powered kind of traditional car. But I love this minimalism of everything in here. I mean, there's almost nothing in here other than this screen, the steering wheel, a couple buttons and knobs and stuff. I also did a video recently about test driving a Model 3 for the first time. That was the first Tesla I ever actually drove. So this is really brand new to me. Like this whole Tesla system, the whole EV system, learning how to charge at my house and around town and stuff like that. I didn't even know how to use a charger. So I'm really learning a lot, you know, just using the car. And let me just tell you, it's an amazing, fun experience, and emphasis on the fun. You know, this car I think is really made for people that want a fun driving experience. You know, it has a lot of kind of quirks about it that make it a little more interesting and a little more dynamic and evolving. Feels like a lot more fun. It feels like I'm driving a spaceship. It's just a totally different experience, especially coming from a gas hybrid. So I ended up getting this car one day before Tesla unveiled their new version 11 of the operating system on the infotainment screen. So the functionality is very similar to the previous version 10, but this version 11 has some definite interesting changes, like, you know, just how you operate the AC system and all these icons that actually have color now, and you can drag these in here. You can kind of customize stuff, except these icons to me look a little bit dated. I don't know, this looks kind of like iPhone from the early 2010s. I kind of prefer that gray and black and white kind of look at the bottom of the infotainment screen that they had in version 10. Cool, check out this train that's going by right now. Small town Texas. So yeah, I really like this screen, and I think this is the biggest selling point to me. The Model Y is basically like a pumped up version of the Model 3. It's bigger, it's heavier, it's more powerful. This particular long range model gets 0 to 60 in, I believe, 4.8 seconds, which is much faster than any car I've ever owned. I think the RAV4 was like 0 to 60 in 7 or 8 seconds or something, which to me is even fast enough, but this is even more powerful, and you can definitely feel that power when you're driving around town. And it really just feels like, I swear, it's just so floaty, especially on these roads that are really smooth and, you know, just roads that don't have a lot of bumps and stuff. I will say though that the experience of driving this car on bumps and, you know, imperfect roads and stuff, of which there are a lot of here in Texas, it's a little bumpy. It's definitely a bumpy experience. It's not as smooth as I thought it would be. It's definitely a little bit smoother than the Model 3 because you're higher off the ground and stuff. You feel all the little imperfections in the road, but this is a sports car, you know. I don't think it's really meant for, you know, that super smooth kind of Cadillac floaty, cloud-like kind of driving experience. It's kind of subjective. I can put up with a lot of the bumps and stuff just because this car drives really smooth and extremely quiet. Listen to how quiet this car is, even on highways and stuff like that. You know, there's a little bit of road noise, but it's not perfectly silent, but it's so much quieter than my RAV4 Hybrid for sure. Just having double pane windows in this 2021 Model Y, I think makes a pretty huge difference in terms of just how much road noise, how much wind noise especially, that you hear inside the cabin. So this is kind of a cool new feature. Now when you have the blinker on in version 11, you can see that there's that little camera comes up and that shows you the side mirror from your left or right side. And that's really cool because it gives you a little more peace of mind when you're making turns and stuff, that there are no cars to your left or to your right in your blind spot. But yeah, just driving around, my first impressions of this Model Y is, oh my gosh, when you sit down and you just start moving, it's just incredibly smooth. It's so quiet, and I really, really like that. I actually do enjoy all of these little things that, you know, make the Tesla a lot more fun to drive, such as the minimalism in this car. Like, it makes me, you know, want to be invited into the car to have a more immersive, kind of just fun experience. It changes, you know, it evolves. And that's a huge selling point to me of the Tesla versus other cars, where I feel like in the Toyota RAV4, it was a fun car, it was fine, but it was basically the same car for the entire time I had it. You know, it didn't have really changing software and stuff like that. It did have CarPlay though, and I definitely miss CarPlay a little bit. Actually, I do miss CarPlay a lot, let's be real. Not having CarPlay on this infotainment system is kind of a drag, and honestly, I do miss CarPlay, and I wish there was some way that wasn't janky or something to have CarPlay just right there on the infotainment screen. I think that would have made this car almost perfect to me, besides the bumpy ride. I mean, those are kind of the main two cons that I have right now. The car is a bumpy ride, number one, and number two, there's no CarPlay. And there's also a number three, the navigation system, the built-in navigation system, the GPS in the Tesla on the big screen is not my favorite in the world. You know, it gets the job done. It does use Google Maps, but it has put me in some pretty sticky traffic situations. Even the first night that I got it, on a main highway, there was a huge amount of traffic, and the GPS on the Model Y didn't do anything to reroute me. It was nowhere near the functionality of something like Apple Maps or Waze, or even just the normal Google Maps app, where it'll kind of get you around the traffic and stuff. So I've already been caught in traffic twice. It was really horrendous traffic, and it really sucked. And yeah, I do wish there was CarPlay. I wish I could use Apple Maps or Waze or just any other thing besides the built-in GPS in this Tesla. But honestly, other than that, I actually have been loving this Tesla so far. I think the screen is absolutely beautiful. Yes, this car is pretty expensive and stuff like that, but you are paying for this very premium experience. I really like the quick access to my music. I like having, you know, the dash cams available in there, and Sentry mode is actually a really cool security feature. And now I'm starting to look at gas prices and stuff, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I don't have to worry about that with an EV car. You just kind of drive, and you know, I charged this at my house overnight, and I got about 50 to 60 miles just on a slow charging, you know, nothing fancy in the charging experience at home yet. I probably will upgrade to a slightly faster charger. I don't know if I need like the full-on Tesla charger, but something that's faster than getting 56 miles per night would be good. But for the most part, you know, I don't even drive more than 20 or 30 miles per day, if that. And I really do like how easy it is to find a supercharger just anywhere where I'm at. And if I zoom out here, you can just see how many superchargers there are in the entire United States. One of my favorite things about the Tesla Model Y and Teslas in general is one pedal driving. And it's taken me a little while to get used to that coming from a traditional gas-powered car. Basically, one pedal driving is where you just need one pedal. Like, you almost don't even have to use the brake pedal when you're driving this car, because you can just kind of accelerate and then decelerate just by letting off of the acceleration. And it'll even come to a complete stop for you without having to touch the brake pedal. And yeah, like I said, it's plenty of power for me. I mean, this thing just really speeds up. It ramps up so easily. You barely have to even press on the acceleration sometimes when you're doing, you know, getting on a ramp or something and you have to pass someone or something. If you need that extra power, this long range has plenty of power, at least for me. Another thing I love is that you can engage in this camera view while you're driving forward. You don't have to be in reverse to see your three views there of your reverse camera and then your left and right side cameras. You can keep this on the screen even the entire time you're driving if you want, which is kind of cool. It is a little bit distracting to me, but I love that you can kind of toggle that on and off really easily. While driving this car, it does feel a little bit stiff, actually surprisingly stiff for such a smooth and quiet ride. Making turns and stuff, just the general handling of this car is actually weirdly rigid. But yeah, like the turn radius is decent, not the best in the world, and the handling in general, it's just kind of a stiff, kind of rigid feeling car, but it actually feels very quality. So this car did not come with full self-driving, so that's an upgrade that I'm debating whether or not I actually need it. Right now, I don't really think I need full self-driving whatsoever. Like, I'm totally fine with just the normal enhanced autopilot, but Tesla has introduced that subscription model, so you can try full self-driving if you want for $200 or $100 per month, depending on which model you have. And if you want to watch Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, and stuff like that, you do have to pay an extra $10 a month, and I do have a month trial subscription on the premium connectivity right now. I'm not really convinced I even need the premium connectivity package yet. I also think this car is extremely spacious, and I love just how minimal and clean everything looks. It feels a little more high quality than the Model 3 that I tried, where there was that piano black thing here on the Model 3 before, but now it's this kind of matte finish, nice sliding tray here. And there also is wireless charging in this Model Y from 2021. It just has a really nice driving experience. It feels really nice when you're on the road, even though it is a little bumpy and it doesn't have CarPlay. Blind spot monitoring is kind of weird and stuff like that. I can definitely put that aside for how fun this car is to drive. I love all the updates in the software. I love the huge screen. There's just a lot to love about the Model Y so far. I can already tell that I have no regrets trading in my RAV4 Hybrid. This car is just another level of technology and driving experience, and it feels a lot more roomy in this car, even though I think the RAV4 is a little bit bigger. So yeah, be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave your comments and questions below. Happy birthday to me. It's actually my birthday today. So yeah, have an awesome day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.